Social networks have become an integral part of basically everyone's lives nowadays. Users get online to share their good and bad moments with their peers. And you would think that hardly anyone hops on social media specifically to feel depressed. But according to researchers of happiness from Denmark, this is exactly what happens to many on Facebook, and getting offline may actually make you happier. Alexei Yarashevsky reports.
A lot of positivity on my Facebook timeline today. A lot of travel pics. My friend went some up north. And some political rants as well. Well, and apparently a couple of belated birthdays here as well. But, you know, these are my real friends, and they're sharing their happy moments, and of course I'm delighted for them. But it's not quite the case with many others on Facebook. Certainly Zuckerberg is happy to know that his network has now hit 1.4 billion users worldwide. It's almost the population of China. But are those users actually happy themselves? Well, not according to a new study by the Danish Happiness Research Institute. And that is yet another suggestion that social networking can in fact make people distressed. Now, what they did is basically they split 1,095 users into two groups. One group was basically using Facebook as per usual. The other one was not using Facebook for a whole week. It turns out eventually that 55%, that those who were not using Facebook were 55% less distressed. Now, their errands ran quicker, their time was more productive, they had a better general calmness, better satisfaction of life, and they felt less lonely. Now, this study adds to the pile of other research dating as further back as 1998 that overdose of internet usage may cause depression and exactly the opposite of what it's meant to do in the first place, the feeling of isolation. The reasons, one recent study in Austria claimed it might be because Facebook users feel they're wasting their time looking at other people's lives. Basically, getting offline gets you better connected to the real world. But another study in Germany concluded that the unhappiness could be down to envy. We see those happy things online, and if we don't have as much happiness, we get depressed. Simple as that. But what if this happiness is not real at all? Just recently, this model from Australia, who had more than 500,000 followers in social networks, and just look at those happy pictures. She said that all this was basically fake, either advertising cosmetics or attire to, as she said, to delude her followers into buying them. She was also almost dragged into an online relationship before learning that potential date was simply wanted business arrangement to make money off their followers. Ms. O'Neill quit the social media afterwards, labeling it as dishonest. The Danish happiness researchers are not going that far yet, but they're looking to hold the experiment for a year now to see whether users will be happier eventually. That's if, of course, they find volunteers who'd give up Facebook for 12 months. But even at this stage of the experiment, their bottom line is simple. If you feel depressed while on social media, there's always the offline world, which you can get back to get your high spirits back. Alexei Yarashevsky, RT, reporting from Washington, D.C.
Well, if you can't cut the cord, you could always visit our Facebook page, RT America, and chime in on these stories. I got your back, web team.